Okay, I need to reshape these feathers using this setting here. Using too much spring will make these guys here go kind of like jittery and feathery, like leaves in the wind. So that's the problem with pushing that up. With sub and hole structure, you don't really want to go over 10,000. It might be. I'm not so sure about the hole structure. The whole structure is kind of like trying to freeze the position of the trigons. So you might not want a too high hole structure. I'm using a wind object here. This is just directional wind. These settings really. Nothing much more to it. This collision object, just a regular collision object, no special settings. Path wind, nothing special. If you look at the handles though, for the path wind, you can see that, well, those are scaled. You scale the null, or scale the handle rather, under modify and size, and that will scale the path for you if you want to do that. So you can I guess I could just demonstrate that by going here and size, and well, this is set to 1 actually, so let's just go like this and that. So we'll leave that at 1. Try to set all the keyframes at frame 0 so you don't like lose that. And yeah, the cloth effects settings, again, spring 200, you don't want to go too high with that. It's going to create jitter here. Like leaves in the wind effect sort of. Substructure, that's to hold the trigons in place sort of. Well, actually it's not. It's keeping the shape of the trigons, or trying to do it. It kind of like failed though. So, and I think that's actually because I'm using trigons, and it's just basically not. Well, for example, if I took a box and subdivided it several times and then made a simulation, it would kind of like try to hold the shape of that. But when it's using only trigons that are just pieces really, then it doesn't work that well. This setting this to high will add calculation time. These two will add calculation time. Collision offset, well, I don't need a lot. Friction, that's set to 400. I'll just leave it at 400. Advanced. Yeah, this is about stretching or not stretching the polygons, at least this one. Setting this to a low number will usually work, but not for in this case. And again, probably because I'm using trigon pieces. I'm having a low resolution here for the calculation, and that's quite alright. It doesn't really need to be high in this case. So it will calculate faster instead of having that set to 2mm. So yeah, it will calculate faster on 50mm than on 2mm. Much faster. Collision offset, that's really offsetting from the original object. You could actually set that to 0 millimeter. I don't think it's going to change calculation time at all. These, I never remember these. Well, that is okay. So we're under the collision tab for cloth effects. So bound, I guess that's how much is going to bind to the object, and friction is how much is going to fall off from the object or not. I guess that could be interesting to just test that, to say 10% for the friction and see what happens. Not really sure if too much will happen as we're using a path wind and a wind. I don't know. I don't think too much happened, really. Again, be careful using too high settings here. You don't want to go too high on these guys. You can go very high on these three here, but like actually up to 10,000 here and like 5,000 here, but for the other ones you don't want to go too high. 1,000 max on these other settings in general. I'm just going to see what happens now. Again, I don't think a lot's going to happen as I'm using a path wind and a regular direction wind. Yeah, I mean, not much of a change there really. So I'll just leave that to what it was. I'm not going to change the bound. Let's try this. Let's see what happens if I set that to a fixed force. It might be that once it hits the object, it will stick. Well, anyway, in this case you can see that it's not, these things are not really creating all that much of a difference really. So we'll have to just calculate this and export the trigons and fix the trigons to be the same shape inside Modeler. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that cloth effects object and why is it like that now? We're going to take that cloth effects object and export it and fix it in Modeler. Yeah, again, now you can see that it's kind of like jumping here, and that's because of the it kind of like creates jitter on the simulation if it's too high. So yeah, no, I should have set that to 200 or 100. But again, the trigons will not keep their size. The whole structure, the substructure will not work for trigons, so we need to fix that somehow. Just need to find a good frame. All of these are pretty much the same, so maybe for frame 3, maybe that's come out good. So yeah, I need to fix the trigons so they have the same shape.